Good morning, everyone. Hi. Today I'm going to speak about my success, and because I feel successful, and my success is, of course, that I have embodied language, and that people like Kamala Harris, she doesn't have embodied language, and so she can talk all she wants, and the media can help her change her resume, or can change her history of what she has accomplished. She has nothing. She has not accomplished anything. She's just a phony person, and I want to contrast myself with Kamala Harris because in spite of not many people knowing me or not many people paying attention to my embodied language, I'm not faking it, and she is. And so when she is talking about joy, just like Joy Reid, that's also such a phony character, race baiting character. And Kamala Harris, of course, is also a big race baiter. Yeah. These people, they want actually what I have, and they pretend to be what this is. And supposedly they're so, they're so truthful, right? But they're not truthful. They cannot be truthful, because with this embodied language, you can only lie, you can only pretend, you can only defend, and you can only believe in what you say. I don't believe in what I say. There's no need for me to have any belief in what I say. I am what I say, and that's how I live my life. My embodied language is not something that I try to do or that I want to do. No, it's simply something that I do because I can. And this truth that I'm talking about is not anything that I have any problem with, because it works for me. Yeah. And Kamala Harris, her so-called truth, is just something that is not working for her, although she believes it is. Yeah. I mean, she has slept her way to the top, and she has been in bed with guys, powerful guys, and there's nothing new in that. Many women have slept their way to the top, have sort of hooked up with people of influence to get themselves some kind of power. And but ultimately, when I see Kamala Harris, I see a little girl who never got to play. And when I see her standing next to Biden, she has to all of a sudden, a while ago, she was together with Biden on the airport. I remember when she was all of a sudden having to say something about these hostages that have been, or these people that had been in prison that had been released. And of course, she was genuinely happy for these families who could embrace their loved ones again. And so there was also in Joe Biden, of course, a genuine sense of relief and happiness that something got accomplished. And you gotta sort of just say that's true. However, in that moment, for an observant person like myself, I suddenly see a Kamala Harris who is having difficulty being an adult, difficulty being not the childish person that she actually is, because she's very, could say she's very, I forget the word, she's very vindictive. Yes, that's the word. Yeah, she gets very pissed with anyone that goes against her, and she feels very rejected by everyone who goes against her. And I understand, because she has, of course, always been rejected. That's why she always has to pretend to be something which she is not. And that's what is the case with everybody with disembodied language. In my case, however, just look at me, how good I look. Yeah, I know. Yesterday I was sad, and yesterday I was, making a video about one of my, moments in which I feel sad. But that's totally okay. That's part of life. But today I feel really successful. I feel really like, I'm so glad that I don't fight with someone like Kamala Harris or anybody out there to be right about what I say. I am right. I know I'm right. And I'm right in spite of the fact that nobody listens to me. I'm right in spite of the fact that I'm just, living in my own reality that I create with my embodied language. Yeah, and I am enjoying my language enlightenment. Yeah, my language enlightenment, which I have accomplished with my ongoing embodied language. And that language enlightenment, there would be no sense of that if it wasn't for the fact that I have this ongoing embodied language. That ongoing embodied language, which of course requires, many people, they believe that it is some sort of a trick or something that I'm doing, because that's what people always do when they are engaging in disembodied language. But embodied language is not some kind of a trick. You can only have embodied language if you are honest about your feelings with your language. Yeah, of course. And so the problem, however, is with disembodied language, you cannot be honest, even if you want to be honest, even if you try to be honest, even if you long to be honest, And perhaps for a person like Kamala Harris, there's something going on, and I'm quite sure that this is true, what I'm saying. There's something going on with people like her, because there's many people like her. She's not the only one. With people like her who gain power and who have this eagerness to have power. I would say the same is true for Biden. They want that powerful position because they construe that powerful position with safety. And because then supposedly when they have that position of power, then supposedly they are right. They are having the power to show everybody that they are right. Well, I don't have any power, and I'm happy to not have any power. And I'm right. How's that? So that's wonderful that I can contrast myself in this way. Good morning. And so, that's really my success. My success is that I am happy without having any power over anybody. You see, I don't even consider it to be the case that I have power over myself, because what is power? It is interesting to consider with our embodied language. What is power? So power is the ability to do what you want to do, or to say what you want to say, to be who you want to be. And but of course, when we are talking about power, we are always talking about that in opposition to others who presumably prevent you from being that way or from doing that. Well, I've got news for all the motherfuckers with disembodied language. Nobody of you can stop me from having embodied language. because I don't give a shit about any of you. And it is only recently that I have become very clear about this. But my success is that I don't care about you. And so my ability to be myself and to say what I want to say and to enjoy, because really, you know, it wouldn't be meaningful, it wouldn't be important if it wasn't for the fact that I can enjoy myself so much. Yeah. And those people who are courageous enough to hear what I'm saying and to tune into it themselves and figure out the difference between their own disembodied language and their own embodied language, they would also just feel the same way, the same kind of victorious, successful way, that in spite of the whole world being stupid and stubborn and outdated, basically, because disembodied language is outdated. Yeah, it is not having any future. Yeah, disembodied language is an ending affair. It is not the future. It is not. Good morning. It's not. The group behavior that is disembodied language, because it is group behavior, is not the future of mankind. Yeah. So no matter how you put it, you can get away with your disembodied language, and of course everybody does, because everybody is involved in it and keeps making it seem as if that is the most important thing to do, to have more disembodied language. I say no. I have embodied language. That's my success, and in spite of the whole world doing something else, I'm doing this, and in spite of that, I am successful. And my success is not in convincing people. My success is not in creating a following. No, in having people vote for me. No. No, my success is in being a free individual. Yeah. And so, yeah, I wrote something about that because, I'll read it to you later on my other YouTube channel. But I'll say something about it here because it is important to mention it also. That the whole people in disembodied language, everybody believes something is wrong when a person supposedly takes something personal. Yeah, they say, "Oh, don't take it personal. Yeah, you should not be upset about what somebody said or did, because no. You should sort of just say like, no, that shouldn't affect you personally. Don't take it personal. It's just business as usual. Yeah, politics is a blood sport, and we're just having these arguments. Don't take it personal. These people in politics, they hurl the most insulting things at each other, and the next moment they get along again with each other. That's part of politics, right? Because supposedly we don't take it personal. But okay, now I'm talking with you about embodied language. Yeah, and embodied language is personal, always. And not only that, disembodied language is always impersonal because people are not listening to themselves. Yeah, embodied language is personal because we listen to ourselves. And we like to listen to ourselves. So we like to be personal. And there's nothing wrong in being personal. No, it is just wonderful to be personal because we are open, we are honest, we are sincere, we are truthful, we are ourselves, we are conscious. Yeah? So there's a whole different connotation to taking it personal. Yeah, of course, we don't take anything personal. Everything is personal in embodied language. But in disembodied language, you cannot be personal because people are not connecting with themselves. And so I wrote yesterday, I just want to tell you this, that I wrote that when you consider this statement that people often then make, right? They say things like, "Oh, don't take it personal." Actually, when somebody is taking it personal, when somebody expresses what they feel, the other person basically says, "Don't feel. No, don't feel." Don't talk about your feelings. Just imagine we talk about our feelings. Then we would have. Then we would get personal. Don't get personal. Don't get. No. So, but so when a person is taking something personal, that actually signifies one of those rare moments in which we actually are a little bit personal about our stuff. Of course, it usually deals with something negative because we feel hurt or upset or, dismissed by somebody, rejected. Yeah, somebody's mistreating us, somebody's being a jerk towards us. And so it's interesting. It's just so interesting how all of these things are completely hidden from us due to our disembodied language. Because in disembodied language, you can never clearly speak about this, but I can, and that is my success. And that's my happiness. I couldn't be happy. I couldn't be happy if I couldn't do that. Yeah? Nobody is happy who cannot do that. That's why you are not happy. Yeah. Why is there so much unhappiness in the world? Well, everybody engages in disembodied language. And why is... I mean, I've been hearing this my entire life. This is the truth. You gotta sort of just take my word for this. I've been hearing my entire life, people tell me, oh, you're always so enthusiastic, you're always so positive, you're always so full of energy. How is that possible? I mean, I'm not always happy. I'm not always, what is it? Going with the flow? No, to the contrary. To have embodied language, I've had to disconnect from everybody who has disembodied language. So I was just going totally against the flow. Yeah, it felt like it's me against the whole world. Yes, and unfortunately, sad as it is, since everybody is engaging in unconsciously, unknowingly, in disembodied language, you are on your own. There's nobody out there that has embodied language with you. So that's also one of the reasons why people don't want to explore it, because you will have to acknowledge that you're totally on your own, and that can be very lonely, and it can be very scary. That can be feeling very troubling. Yeah, because now you're totally responsible for yourself. Now you are totally on your own. Now you have to sort of just. You have to rely on your own explanation, as your own resources, at your own ability to deal with things. Yes. Now, lo and behold, when you do yourself great favor, because now you're coming into your own. Now you do what you need to do to be who you are. And there are things you need to do to be who you are. You cannot be who you are if you do not do what it takes to be who you are. You can of course have all kind of feely-touchy ideas about that, but one of the things that I've come to understand, and it's only, as I've said, just quite recently that I came to this, is that it's perfectly okay to hate. It's never too late to hate. That's my new paradigm. It's never too late to hate. So of course I hate everybody with disembodied language. Why shouldn't I? They are not allowing me to have embodied language. They have always stopped my embodied language. They have always ridiculed, made use of, because that too, they have always abused my ability to be open and to be honest and truthful. They have always put themselves above me with their stupid disembodied language. They've always put me down. I know that. So I hate everybody with their disembodied language. And yes, people justify the disembodied language with all kind of bullshit, whether it's political or religious or, I don't know, economical, because they are so powerful, they have so much money, they have so much power, they have so much influence. They do it, they justify it with their knowledge, they are so knowledgeable, they do it with their abilities. Supposedly they are capable of something which other people are not, and then that's why they can be arrogant pricks or idiots. Yeah, they have one over each other. I don't do any of that. I simply throw everybody with their disembodied language off. That's what I've been doing my whole life. I had to reject them. I for a long time I just saw myself as, as the person, as the nice guy, who likes people and who wants to get along and all that. No, no, that's the past. That's a past stage. I don't want to get along. I'm not getting along with your disembodied language. Our embodied language, my embodied language, and your disembodied language, they never ever meet. Period. So you can go to hell, stay in hell. You are already in hell with your disembodied language. I will continue with my embodied language. That's my success. Now, yes, I feel so happy today. And of course, everything coincides, I mean, I had a day off yesterday. I had a good day. I had a good night's sleep. I wrote a couple of beautiful things. I made another wonderful video. I wrote another song, which I'm going to record. Man, it just doesn't stop. It just keeps on producing positive outcomes, wonderful results, positive consequences. And my expectation of what's going to happen is that my embodied language and the general understanding of what this is only going to increase, is only going to be further enhanced, because that's what has been happening. If the past predicts the future, it has been gotten better and better and better. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't get better and better. and so my enthusiasm and my optimism is genuine because of what I know. And I'm not trying to, just make people believe something in what they want to hear. No, because you don't want to hear. I know you don't want to hear what I say in terms of your disembodied language being totally, disingenuous. Kamala Harris is totally disingenuous. She is hiding from the media. She is not allowed, because that would destroy her image, to have a regular conversation with anybody anymore, because that would expose her stupidity. Of course, that's how it is. And so, I can talk with anybody. And yes, I do not want to have a disembodied language. So, I have my standard. My standard is you have to stop your own disembodied language, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just a matter of decency. That is just a matter of being appropriate. How can you be a sensitive, honest, sincere human being if you do not listen to yourself while you speak? It is ludicrous that we have even accepted the disembodied language that everybody engages in everywhere, constantly. It is ludicrous, it is ridiculous, it is stupid, it's unintelligent that we have accepted that as our regular way of talking, where we talk at each other instead of with each other. There's a big difference. There's a big difference when you speak in such a way that a speaker takes turns with a listener, where the listener becomes the speaker and the speaker becomes the listener, and this turn taking is not anything that's predetermined, because there's not a rule that says, oh, now the speaker must stop and the listener must become the speaker. No, the listener can become the speaker at any time. You can argue with me, you can interject things, you can just immediately say something just because you feel like it. And lo and behold, if we feed off of each other because we're both having embodied language, we can talk together, and it doesn't harm us at all. It doesn't distract us at all. The strange thing is, if we all have embodied language together, we can even talk simultaneously. In Holland back in the days, I gave many workshops, and also in America when I just came here the first year, I've given many workshops, and of course I've in my classes that I taught, my psychology classes. I've demonstrated this many times. But any case, I came up with the idea in Holland, and I love Italians. I love the Italian way of life, because Italy has given birth to beautiful music, to opera, and bel canto opera. I've studied also this beautiful music for quite some years. But in any case, what I wanted to say is I was in Italy at some point, and I enjoyed so much being around Italians, because they talk so loud and they get so conversational with each other, and they all talk simultaneously. and so I came up with this concept that in embodied language we can have what I call Italian kitchen, in which everybody talks simultaneously and we can all still hear each other and everything's perfectly okay. No, we are not fighting, we are not arguing, we're just having a big meeting, and everybody is getting all emotional about everything, but it's beautiful. It's just fantastic that we can be like that. Anyway, and that's kind of also the confrontation which I envision, which needs to happen, which is going to happen, and which is already in some sense happening. I love Trump for the fact that he is confrontational. And so, these people who have disembodied language, I'm not saying that Trump is having embodied language, don't get me wrong, he is still having disembodied language, but he is confrontational, and in being confrontational, he actually very actively tries to have embodied language. Of course, many people have in vain tried to have embodied language, and Trump is just being another one of them. But the bottom line is, embodied language is confrontational, yeah? Everything I've just said, you should understand that embodied language is confrontational. And so the people who are having disembodied language say, oh no, don't confront me, don't take it personal. No, we shouldn't be personal, we shouldn't be taking it personal. What? Yes, we should be taking it personal. So people who want to be individuals, they want to talk about truth, they want to talk about being themselves, everybody, we need to respect each other for who we are. Okay, well, you want to be yourself, and you don't want to be confrontational, you want to be yourself, and you don't want to be truthful, because that goes together. That is called responsibility, that's called accountability, that's called that's called honesty. So you cannot be personal without being confrontational, and you cannot be free without being confrontational, because excuse me, you're standing on my toes, don't do that. And no, you are being rude to me, you are being insensitive towards me, you're being hurtful, I hate your guts because you don't respect me. And nobody with disembodied language respects someone like me with embodied language. It's a story of my life. I've always felt disrespected, rejected, and ridiculed and ignored, but I've come to understand that I was always ignored and rejected and ridiculed by those with disembodied language. I was never rejected by those few people who were open to me or somewhat open to me, and I've only learned anything at all from those people who were kind to me and who were friendly to me. So I've had a very difficult time with all of that. I've faced many challenges, and anyone who will embody their language like I do, they will inevitably experience the things that I'm talking about, because this is how the world works, and there's a very big need for us to be prepared for that, to be you could say realistic about that, and to know what is to be expected when you are truly a free individual, and when you have the language that fits with your individualism, because of course that's something that has been lacking until now. in all our Western democratic societies, where supposedly the individual is free, and yet there's no embodied language that goes with it. Yeah, we have pretended to be free with our disembodied language, and we can only continue to, I don't know, to brag about it or to make it seem as if we are something which we're not with our disembodied language. And we do that unknowingly, we do that automatically, we do that unconsciously. And so yeah, this is a big problem. And so all this rejection and all this denial happens completely without people realizing that they're actually doing that. You only know that you are doing that once you know the difference between your disembodied language and your embodied language. Okay. Do you notice how fast I talk today? It is really something, isn't it? That in itself already shows you how successful I am. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I have I've listened last night to the conversation between Trump and Elon Musk, and I really hope Elon Musk hears me one day and also wants to talk with me on his X platform. That would be great. Then everybody can discover embodied language. You see, that's all it takes. And so now we are all, just imagine that this is on X, okay? That everybody hears this. Everybody can hear this, everybody can know, everybody can understand, everybody can feel. Yes, of course, there is a difference. And yes, you do not have to be some sort of a genius to understand and to acknowledge that, of course, if you listen to your sound, your voice while you speak, if you listen to that, if you hear yourself while you speak very differently than when you don't do that. And you realize once you do this, that you haven't done this. And you also realize that there were moments in which you were kind of doing this, but you never really had any clear sense that, oh, so that is what it is. I listen to myself when I am truthful. I listen to myself when I am myself. I listen to myself. I speak with myself in a way that I like because I am truthful about myself. I am accurate about my experience with my language. Oh, that is what it is. That is what listening to myself means. Aha. Okay, so you do get something of this success that I'm talking about the moment you begin to actually experiment and verify for yourself, because it's not just some sort of a technique. No, this is not a method. No, this is what people have always done naturally when they are at ease, when there is no threat, when they can be free. Yeah, because the moment we are threatened, the moment somebody is dominating us, the moment somebody is intimidating us, the moment somebody is putting themselves above us and overpowering us, there are all kinds of reactions which are also natural. Yeah, because these are natural defense mechanisms that are aiding our survival. They just kick in, and these are autonomous responses. Nobody ever talks about this, but there are autonomic responses called fight, flight, and freeze response, which are constantly triggered by the way in which we talk. We never have a real conversation about the extent to which this is actually setting the stage for a disembodied language. It's a very simple thing. Yeah, as long as these threatening, negative episodes are triggered by our disembodied language continues. So I would also continue with my own disembodied language as long as I do not listen to myself, because the moment a person disconnects from him or from herself, he produces a different sound. And we haven't at all communicated this correctly. That sound, the sound of disembodied language, sounds horrible. Yeah? The sound of disembodied language is a sound that stabs, that grabs, that demands, that pushes, that pulls. It is a sound that is forceful, a sound that is punching. That is a horrible sound. That is a tiring sound. That is a demanding sound, an energy draining sound. Yeah, this sound which I'm having, my successful sound, the sound of my embodied language, is the sound of someone, good morning, is the sound of someone who's listening to him or herself. Yeah, I am listening to myself. That's not draining, that's energizing. Yeah, that's not upsetting, that's not stressing. No, that's relaxing, that's opening, that is creating space. Yeah, I've called embodied language earlier, I've called it the language that creates space. And you also hear my sound, you become aware of my sound in such a way that you realize, oh, of course, you could also sound like this. Of course, and it's not because you imitate me, no, it's because you are true to yourself. Yeah? You can only sound like this if you're true to yourself. And if you're in the moment, because the sound which you produce when you listen to yourself, how can you listen to yourself if you are not aware of the sound that you produce in the moment? Yeah, you're not listening to yourself if that listening happens after you've spoken. No, or if it happens before you're spoken, then you are actually afraid of what you say, or you're afraid of how you're going to come across. But no, when you listen to yourself while you speak, that is when you are in the moment. So listening to yourself while you speak makes you present, in which nothing else can make you present like listening to yourself while you speak. Nothing can make you present like embodied language. Isn't that great? Yes, you should say that. You should say that. If you can't say that, you are full of shit. And I hate your guts. And you can tell, I'm not your enemy. I never meet you. How can you be my enemy? You just don't matter to me. I don't meet with you. You are here. This is a message I have for all the people in Chico who have known me. Yeah, if you are listening to this, I hope you do. Yeah, I mean, I have participated in so many open mics. I have taught so many classes. I've been part of mental health for so many years. I've studied psychology for many, many years. Yeah, so good morning. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. Thank you. I have, and what has happened? None of all these people who have known me here in Chico, none of them have come to me and say, hey Maximus, we are in Chico, we are going to promote your work or something like that, yeah? We are going to, here look. We're going to make sure that every student knows about embodied language. Yeah? We're going to make sure that all the therapists and all the psychologists know about embodied language. No, that has never happened. And why is that? Well, it has never happened because they're all a bunch of liars. They're a bunch of arrogant idiots, dimwits, morons, people who are not honest. And so I had assumed, or I had hoped, I had naively wished that they would pick up on this, that they would not necessarily, you don't have to honor me or I don't know, put me on a pedestal. No, but I had hoped that they would just embrace this and acknowledge this and not approve of me or that I need their approval. No, that they would just say this is true, because it is true. It hasn't happened. So all you people in Chico, you're a bunch of cowards. You're a bunch of arrogant idiots that I'm living in your town. I've lived here for many years and you have never respected me. You are a bunch of disrespectful a bunch of disrespectful mediocre is also a good word, unintelligent people who claim to know what is important, yeah? And yeah, this town is a beautiful town, but many things are going on which wouldn't be going on if we would have embodied language. And yet, is there anybody who says anything about this? Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. Is there anybody who says like, hey, mental health would improve if we had embodied language? Family life would improve if we had embodied language. The homelessness crisis would improve if we had embodied language. The drug addiction crisis would improve if we had embodied language. The crime would decrease if we had embodied language. These are just truths. And nobody wants to hear this. Nobody wants to talk about this. You bunch of cowards, you bunch of cheaters, you bunch of lazy, ignorant, stupid people. Yeah? Because I have struggled, of course, with this. Yeah? I've struggled with this. And I have tried to bring it on. Of course I've tried to bring it on. But I have come to understand that no, there is absolutely nobody out there. And here I am, being totally successful, riding my bicycle through Bidwell Park. Yeah? And I'm so happy. Yeah? And nobody, even though I put all these videos out there and I've tried to talk with people about it, and no, I've not been mean to people. They can accuse me of all kinds of things. No, I've simply said your disembodied language does not work. Your disembodied language is responsible for all the problems that we are having. Yes, and you are responsible for all the problems. Why shouldn't I say that? That's true. You are the one who is having disembodied language, not me. I go on with this. You see, that's my success. So Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and what are their names? Karine Jean-Pierre and Joe Biden, yeah, and Jen Psaki, and who are you? Schumer and Pelosi and Obama. None of you guys have embodied language. None of you lefties have embodied language. If there is any embodied language, we hear it on the right, because the right wing people, I consider myself a right-wing person, they are in favor of the freedom of speech. Yeah? It is the left, and I cannot say this often enough, it is the left who creates all these riots. It is the left who creates all this anti-Semitism. Yeah? It is the left who wants Israel to give up on this battle against Hamas. Yeah? It is the left who is inviting Muslim extremists into their fold to join forces against capitalism. It is the left who is anti-American. It is the left who is reactionary. It is the left who is uncreative. The left pretends to be progressive, but they are not progressive at all. They are retarded. They are absolutely retarded. Freedom, the individual, is the future. And so I am in favor of freedom, and I am in favor of those who are in favor of freedom. And the left is not in favor of freedom. The left is in favor of canceling individual freedom. Yeah? That's my stern opinion about that. And I am absolutely having no... I have no hesitation to say that, to admit that, to let you know about that, because you need to know about that this is what is happening in the world. Yeah? Governments are run and people are deciding based on how they talk with each other, and that talk is made possible by the extent to which people can be and dare to be individuals. Yeah, because that's also important. You can only be an individual if you dare to take things personal. Yeah, if you dare to be authentic. Yeah, be yourself. And that's not a small matter in a world in which everybody is phony. Yeah? So don't start whining about don't take it personal, because you need to take it personal. That's my whole message. Yeah. Yes, I have a message today. And it's never too late to hate. Yeah, you gotta hate everything that's fake. You gotta hate everything that prevents you from being truthful. Yeah, you gotta hate all the lies, all the deceit, all the phoniness. You gotta hate all that. Unless you hate it, you're never gonna leave it. Don't make it seem as if it is important, as if it is meaningful. It doesn't get anybody anywhere. And if you believe to get somewhere with it, you are just living in your self-created hell. Because you're not living where I live. Yeah? Look at me. This is my success. Yeah? This is my truth. This is my happiness. This is my authenticity. This is my well-being. Yeah? And this is also how I sound. And after you've said this, after you have heard this, you will feel like this. Yeah. And that's success. Yeah. Okay. That is a nice end.